is up, guys? Fun and Games here. Today I have a really cool video for you. I bought a lot of 15 used smartphones off of eBay. And today was a very dreary, rainy, cloudy, dark day. And this came today. This is the lot of 15 phones. There are 15 used old smartphones in here. So in this video, we are going to be going through them to see if they work, what their condition is. So I'm gonna show you guys here. This is my second phone. I'm gonna show you here that pictures of the listing here. So a lot of 15 smartphones: iPhone, Samsung Galaxy. You can see here. So there's all these different phones. We're gonna see them close up here. So these are some like older Samsung phones. There's like an iPhone 6 or 6S or something. And then there's a bunch of other. That's a Galaxy S7. And then there's these other phones. I see these here. This is a really old one. It's like an iPhone 4, ancient. This one is an iPhone 5C with a cracked screen. Then here's the backs of the phone, so you can see there's some interesting colors. If we go through with, there are the Samsung phones, 2 Galaxy J3 Eclipse, a Galaxy J3 EV, unknown Samsung model. Okay, that's an iPhone SE. That's either a 2020 or 2022. We'll be looking at that one. That's the newest one in this lot. Then there's a Galaxy S7 there, and the iPhones, that's an iPhone 3G or 3GS, that's ancient. And then this Cricket Alcatel Idol phone, I've never heard of that, so that will be an interesting one. And then the iPhone 4, whatever it is. And then here's a close-up. The S7 has a cracked back. So these are just complete mystery phones. Now what's really weird is that I actually had to create a second eBay account to place this order because the seller decided to block me when I was asking him questions about what's going on with the Samsung phones. So these are mostly complete mystery phones. He said that some of the iPhones mostly power on, but they have a couple have like a bad battery, and then most of them are like iCloud locked. So we see what these are. Samsung phones, complete mystery. So let's get right into it. So let's start with our first phone, or phones. Okay, there's just a bunch of bubble wrap. What is inside of here? Wow, the S7 is the first one here. Alright, so got this plastic bag that it's wrapped in. And there's also a Galaxy J3 Eclipse. Interesting. There we go. Here are the first two phones. We have the first two phones. So here's the S7 compared to my S7. This one has also a cracked front of it. Okay, so let's look at it. Okay, so there's some crack. Definitely it's cracked on the back pretty bad. The Galaxy J3, interesting. Okay, it's Verizon. Wow, so let's try to power this on. I'm gonna test the S7 first, so we're gonna hold down the power button and see what we get here. Okay, it's not turning on. Some of these phones could have a dead battery. So here I have my handy dandy charger right here, this micro USB cable. I'm gonna connect it and see if we can get any power from this thing. So let's plug it in. All right. Oh, okay. So it's powering on. We have it. It's the charger's connected, so we can see the charging logo there. 0%. So the battery is completely dead. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let this phone charge for a few minutes. And meanwhile, while that one's charging, let's move on to the next phone. So here's the J3. Interesting. Now, one thing is this phone actually has a removable battery. So what I'm going to try to do here, I'm actually going to try to make sure there's actually a battery in here. There probably is, but I'm going to get this notch right here and take the back cover off and see what we have in here. There is the battery. Okay, so the battery is inside. So let's pop this back cover back on. Okay, you can hear it clicking back in. All right. So now let's try to power it on. So let's hold the power button. Wow. Okay, so it's turning on. So this one has obviously some battery left in it. So it's okay. So hello, we're at the welcome screen here with Verizon. So it's very interesting. This one actually looks not to be in bad condition at all. It doesn't have cracks on the front. I think there might be some scratches on the screen, but that always happens. There's fingerprint marks on the back. That's from me. So this one's actually a really good looking phone. So here it's booting up, so it's preparing the phone. 98%. So one of them has a dead battery, the other has a full battery. Wow. Okay, that is pretty crazy. So we can see there's no reception because this phone obviously is not going to have a SIM card. It's just initializing. Hi there. Okay, so we're at the welcome screen. Or, yeah, we are. Okay, so let's hit start and see what does this phone have to offer. Okay, agree. Right? So let's connect to our Wi-Fi network. I'm going to connect to my Wi-Fi, and then I'll be back after that. Okay, so looks like we have an interesting update here. This phone, it won't actually let me sign into my Google account. It needs a Google account that was previously synced on this device. I don't know what Google account that is. So I don't know if this phone is actually usable. So I'm going to put this one aside, and this video will just be an initial unboxing, and at the end of this video, I will see which phones are actually usable and will let me sign up. So for now, this phone can be put to the side. Now let's get to the next phone. Okay, so we have some more phones here. We have another Galaxy J3 Eclipse, and I believe, what's the Galaxy J3 EV, I think? Here we have the phones. So, we have the second Galaxy J3 Eclipse and the Galaxy J3 EV. So, I'm going to see if these phones power on at all. Okay? Okay, this one also powers on. Cleans the dust off the screen. Alright? So, I'm going to also, meanwhile, try to power this one on right here. Wow, this one's powering on too. So, a lot of these phones seem to, like, be booting up. Like, they're working. Okay, so this one's Verizon as well. Okay, so it's booting up here. Let's see if we can get a screen. This one's also booting up. Okay, this one's Verizon as well, so hello. This one's a little bit less bright, interesting. I'm gonna be curious to see what the battery percentage on these, because the S7 for some reason was dead. Okay, 99% on the second J3 Eclipse. Wow, great. Android is starting. 63% on this one. So this one's not as charged up, but it's still pretty charged up. So that's an interesting observation. So like some of the phones are fully charged. The S7 was like kind of dead. Okay, so this one, both of these are guys on the welcome screen. So I'm going to be doing an update at the end of this video on if these actually work. But for now, let's put these phones to the side and let's go through the next ones here. So whoa. Okay, so we have this huge bubble wrap. Wow. Okay, I still see anything green and blue in there, so those are like the iPhone 5Cs. So here I'm going to pause the video until I get all this bubble wrap unwrapped. Okay, so here we have our next little set of phones here. We've got this Quick-Hit Alcatel phone. Looks pretty scratched up. We'll be messing with that. And then here we have these beautiful iPhones here. Here they are. Grab them out here. Wow, these are small. Okay, so here they are. Okay, so we have, these are interesting phones. So here we have this iPhone SE right here. Here we have this iPhone 5C. Oh my goodness, this thing is actually heavy, but it's really small. It's cracked on the front. Here's the blue one. Looks in better condition. And this is a 6S. I can see S right there. So this is going to be a 6S. Okay, so let's try to power all of these phones on. So I'm going to start with this Quick-Hit Alcatel phone right here. I've literally never wanted to, I don't even know what the power button is. I think I'm holding the power button. Okay. I think, wait, it's actually on the upper left, I think. Man, I've never used it, so I don't know. What in the world? The headphone jack is on the top. That's interesting. Alright, so, this phone just does not power on at all. I'm not gonna try to mess with this phone anymore right now. Let's just move on to the next one. Let's mess with this. Let's go with this green iPhone first. So I believe the power button's at the top. So let's try to power this guy on. Okay, this one doesn't power on either, so that's why we have these handy-dandy lightning chargers here. I'm gonna plug this in. Alright, so it's plugged in. There we go, so it's low on battery. We can see the low battery sign here. Let me see if I can like have it turn on, if it will like boot up. Whoa, what in the world? There are lines on the screen. What? There are literally lines. Do you see that? What the heck? There are literal lines going through the screen. That's so okay. This phone seems to be having issues. Like, it's just stuck on low. Okay, I'm gonna let this charge. Let's just move on to the next phone. So, here we have the iPhone SE. So this is an interesting one. We can see there's like a mark. It was like a sticker maybe. There's just the back is really beat up looking. I'm gonna try to power it on. So let's see if we can power this one on. Alright. Oh, it's powering on. Their Apple logo. So, beautiful Apple logo. It's always a good sign. Especially when you're, like, powering on a phone like this. See if it, what it does here. Alright. 49%. Also, this has a passcode. Okay. How in the world? It needs the passcode. Oh, dear. This phone is passcode locked. I'm going to have to actually connect this to a Mac and restore this to iTunes. I'm not going to do that right now, but this phone needs to be reset because I can't get into it. It's just Penelope. Wow, this is not even factory reset. Wow. Okay, so this phone is just, yeah. Okay, so this phone is not going to be unlocked right now. So I'm going to put this phone to the side. Let's move on to the next phone. So let's get this 6S right here and see if this one will power on. Okay. Doesn't look like it's powering up. So that's why we have another lightning cable. So let's plug this bad boy in here. Okay. It's plugged in. Okay. This phone just does not work at all. I'm not getting any life from this phone. Like, I can't, it's not turning on. Like, okay, so this phone is just a completely, I think this is just dead. It doesn't work at all. It does not power on. So, I'm gonna put this phone to the side, and let's move on to the next one. So, next up, we have this blue iPhone 5C. It's super tiny. Man, this is like an iPhone Ultra Mini or something. Anyway, so let's see if this one will power on. Okay, this one doesn't power on either, so let's plug it in with our handy-dandy lightning cable. It is plugged in. Okay, so this one's low on battery as well. This one doesn't have weird lines in it like the other one did, so... But it's not booting up either. So this probably needs to charge as well. So I'm going to let this bad boy charge. Let's go on to the next phone that's in here. So we have this little bubble wrap. Okay, so here's our next set of phones here. We've got this unknown Samsung phone. I can't even tell what this is. I can't tell. We'll mess with that in a moment. And then we have this is oh wow, so this is an LG phone. I've never used an LG phone. This is an interesting looking one. Let's mess with the Samsung phone first. So I'm going to try to power on. This is a really big device. Wow, this is like really large. But it doesn't power on. Okay, so this one's not powering on. Might have a dead battery. So I'm going to put this one to the side for now. Let's mess with the LG phone. So I don't even know where even is the power button on this thing. I don't even... What in the world? This thing doesn't even have a... What? Where in the world is the power button, guys? Wait, it's in the back. Yes, there we go. That's the power button. Right? Oh my gosh, that's the most awkward placed power button I've ever seen. Wow. Okay, so this one is powering on, which is a good sign. There's a big crack or something, or scratch or something going like near the front camera, like right there. There's a couple other some other minor scratches on the screen. Bottom looks fine. Back is a bit like fingerprinty. That's probably from me touching it, but okay. So this is a track phone wireless phone. So let's see if this thing. Let's see if it like. What in the world? Okay, 94%. It doesn't have a passcode, and it has all these apps on it. What? It has Facebook? What in the world? This, like, what's in here? Phone? There's just, like, a keypad? Okay. So this is a mysterious phone. I'm gonna mess with this phone later. I'm gonna just, turn the screen off. And I'm gonna move on to the next phone. So, okay. interesting. We have these phones wrapped in bubble wrap. Okay, so here we have the next set of phones. Let's get these out. Wow. So here's an iPhone 5 or 5S. I believe this is probably a 5. It's really, wow, the screen does not look good. The back doesn't really look the best either. This one is an iPhone 4, I think? Or, wait, no. Is it 5? 5S something. Then we have this bag right here. With these phones. Whatever these are. Okay. Wow, so this is a 3G or 3GS. Oh my goodness, this is ancient. This is like the second iPhone that ever was made. And then this is an iPhone 4, I think, or 4S. So let's try to power this 3G on. I've never gotten my hands on one of these old iPhones. Apple logo. Wow. So this is already a great start for such an old iPhone. This is 17 years old. This thing is tiny. 8 gigs of storage. Wow. What do you do with 8 gigs of storage today? Today, 8 gigs of storage won't give you hardly anything. Let me actually try to power this one. I don't know what that one's powering on. Let's see if this one powers on. Alright, so this one's not powering on, which the batteries this one might need to charge, so I have a 30-pin connector that I can plug this one in. Let's connect the charger, okay? I don't even know how these go. Like, wow, they're ancient. Oh, the 3G just booted up. I think I plugged in the 4. Yeah, the 4's low on battery. You can see there the low battery. So this one's gonna charge. Right, this one is locked with a passcode. The battery's really low. I can't tell what it's at. What is it at? I can't tell what the battery's at. It's low. It's red. Let me try plugging this one in and see if it charges. So let's get the connector here. Okay. Okay, I think it's charging. Connected the charger. There it goes, charging. Okay, it's low on battery. So it's low on battery. I'm gonna let this one charge. I don't think we even have any more phones in this box. No, we do not. So guys, this is all the phones. Now, one thing I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna unplug this S7 that is absolutely burning hot for some reason. And I'm 60. What in the world? 62% already? It was not even long ago. It was at 0. How the heck is this thing at 62%? What on earth? It charges that fast? My S7 does. I don't think it charges that fast. That's weird. This thing must have a terrible battery. Also, it's like really hot. It's booting up. It seems like without an issue. Right. So this one's Sprint. Mine is T-Mobile. Okay. So somehow I think this is the original sticker. Actually, or maybe it's not. I don't know. It's really hot. I don't know why it was so hot. I don't know how it charged that fast either. That's honestly pretty bizarre. This phone could have like a bad battery. I mean, it's 9 years old. This thing's never been opened. I mean, okay. So with the lock screen, 62%. Right. Okay. So it has a fingerprint and a pattern setup. All right. So this one's going to have to be factory reset. I'm going to have to go into Android recovery and factory reset this phone because it's just completely locked. Yeah, so basically I've gone at this point through all the phones. I'm going to see what these iPhone 5Cs, if these will power on. They've been plugged in for a little while now. So I'm going to see if maybe these have enough charge to power on. It looks like this one is still low on battery. Let's try this one now, okay? Right, so this one's also low on battery with these weird lines going through it, which is obviously a screen problem. It's cracked, so I guess it's not. Okay, now it's gone away. I'm still holding the power button. Okay, so these are still low on battery. It's still glitching, so I think these might need to charge for a while to actually get up to speed. I'm gonna try this Alcatel phone because this, I believe, has a micro USB port. So I'm gonna get my micro USB charger and see if I can plug this thing in. Okay? Alright, it's plugged in. I see a white light up there. Okay, that is very weird. But oh, the iPhone is booting up here. We've got an Apple logo on the iPhone. So this one's booting up, Apple logo. So it probably has enough charge now at this point to boot up. Okay, so it's taking a while. The Alcatel still with that white light. I'm gonna see if I can, okay, this one, no SIM card. Okay, so, this one is, yeah, it's definitely low on battery. Can we tell what the battery's at? I can't see a battery. Okay, so, this thing needs to be set. I'm gonna see English here. Okay, it's gonna want me to choose a Wi-Fi network. So I'm gonna set up this phone and then I'll be back. Oh, the Alcatel is booting up before I even can pause the video. The Alcatel's booting up. Or is it booting up? It's just charging and then it, like, has, whoa. Okay, it's probably just means it's charging. I've never used one of these. This is like a very weird phone to me. I don't even know what this brand, I've never heard of this brand. So this phone is acting a bit weird. So, what I need to do, I'm gonna be back once this iPhone 5C is set up and see, what happens next. Okay, so interesting message here. We got a message that we could not activate iPhone. It won't let me activate it. It says I need to connect it to iTunes. So I'm probably going to have to connect this thing to iTunes. Let me mess with this green one again. Whoa. As soon as I picked it up, it has this Apple logo on with these weird lines going through it. I'm still confused as to what in the world these lines are. These is just probably a screen glitch. Alcatel is still showing that white light. I'm going to see if this one boots up. Okay, so you guys couldn't hear it, but it just vibrated a vibration 5%. So the one battery. This one also has a wallpaper. No SIM card. Okay, let's okay, the camera app. There's these weird lines going through the screen. Wow, it unlocks. This phone is working 6%. Okay. Wow, so this is working. It has these weird lines to it, but it's working. Let me see the settings. I'm gonna just go and, wow, this is old battery. Let me see if I can see battery health. No, I don't think this phone's too old to see that. Okay, so we're at 6%. So this phone is the one of the ones, I think, along with the LG, I believe, that actually booted up. Now, it has these weird lines to it. It's probably just a glitch of the screen, but it's working. Let's see if we can... Let me see if I can open the camera. Like, does the camera look any good? Okay, so the camera seems to be... wait, no, the camera's good, actually. The camera looks pretty clear. Little photo there of these phones. So the camera looks fine. Okay, the Alcatel keeps doing that weird white light thing. So obviously this phone was not factory reset either. So I think what's going to really need to happen here, this phone is going to need to charge, so 7%. So I'm going to actually go through all these phones. I'm going to be back once I've gone through all these phones and see if any of them will boot up and if I can use them. Okay, guys, so it has actually been 2 days because I didn't have time to go through all the phones in that one night and test them all. But now that I've tested them, I want to give you guys the final conclusion. So these up at the top, all of these phones, they turn on and they work, but they are all unusable. As you guys can see, they're either iCloud locked or Google account locked, or FRP lock, which is factory reset protection lock. They're all locked, and there is no way to get them unlocked. So all of these phones, they work, but they're completely useless due to the lock. This iPhone 4, this SE, I restored them through iTunes because they were passcode locked, but now it locked them, it iCloud locked them, and there's no way for me to set them up. And as you see here, this iPhone SE has a problem where it keeps restarting. So right there, it just randomly turns off and then restarts. So in a few seconds, we'll probably be showing the Apple logo. Also, this Galaxy S7 right here, the battery's pretty bad. It drains very quickly on standby, doing absolutely nothing. This one right here, these phones, these J3 Eclipses actually have a different battery size. This one right here, the battery is actually smaller. Like, the battery is not the original battery. Somebody just stuck a smaller battery in there. So, this one drains much faster than this one. This one hardly drains at all on standby. This one right here, it's at 19%, drains very quickly as well. There was a problem with this phone with the battery. So basically all of these phones, they're all locked, so these are useless. Now, let's go to the next category, which is these phones right here. These are the phones that work and are actually usable. Now, if you're wondering why this iPhone 3G here is off, that's because there was something really crazy happened with this one. It was passcode locked. I tried restoring it through iTunes, but it was giving me trouble. So what I tried doing actually is I tried to straight up guess the passcode. And the way I tried to guess the passcode, I started going for things like, I realized, what if I just try like 4 of each number, like 4 3s or 4 2s or 4 1s or something. Finally, I tried 4 zeros and look what I got. The phone unlocked. I was actually in this phone, which is absolutely insane. How in the world I guessed the person's passcode? That was a really lame passcode. Honestly, like 4 zeros. That's not secure. Now, this phone, I'll give you a bit of background on it. So the battery drains pretty quickly. Seems like on standby. Seems like not too bad sometimes on, like when using it, but it is still, old, you know? I don't know if it was replaced. It may have been replaced, considering a 17-year-old battery should drain even quicker. It shouldn't even last like 5 minutes, or maybe it shouldn't last, it should not work at all when plugged in. But one funny use I actually found for this phone was this Checkers app right here. If you open this Checkers app, there's like you can play different computer levels, and I actually realized this is just a cool thing for me to do when I'm just like relaxing, whatever. I can just like literally get this phone out and play checkers. Like I can play this game right here. It's like you can play against different like levels of computer, and it's like you can do all this stuff. So this phone's honestly a really cool phone. It's such a piece of nostalgic art how old this is. It's so old. The 2nd generation ever iPhone made, which is pretty crazy. I mean, this thing is ancient. So, but it's really cool. Now, it's really slow, of course. Like, there's even, like, Facebook on here, like, right here. There's Facebook, but it's, like, really slow and old and outdated. But it works, and, yeah, this is a pretty cool phone. So, the next phone, this iPhone 5C right here. So, this iPhone 5C, it works. Now, what's weird about these cracks in the screen is I cannot even feel them. There's also these lines in the middle, if you can see there. So, I actually added my Apple account to this phone. Now, one thing that's about this phone is it works perfectly fine. Everything works, but the battery percentage is so erratic, and it shut off earlier on me today, like at 30%. It kept asking me to charge it, so I plugged it in. It was like 28%. So the battery percentage has also been really erratic. Like it was at 39. It was yesterday. I think it was at 38 or 39. And then I plugged it in, and all of a sudden it was at 49. So it's like the battery percentage is really erratic. Another case, it was at 52. It wasn't draining at all for some reason. And then when I restarted, it was all of a sudden at 73%. So like the battery is really weird and erratic on this phone, but the phone does work. It's just old, so the battery is bad. Next up, we have this LG phone right here. So, if we go into the settings, wherever those are, if we go into the apps here. So, this is an LG phone. Battery's not too terrible. I got my Google account set up on this phone. YouTube doesn't work on it because it's too old. Let's see what model this is. LG L52VL. Interesting. So, there's all this different information about the phone. But, this one works and it's usable. It's kind of slow because it's old, but, you know, it works as trap phone wireless. One funny design choice about this one is the fact that the power button's, like, literally on the back. So, like, if I press it, like, if we do this, and then I press the power button, it's actually the volume button. So, if we press the power button, it turns it off. So, that's the power button's, it's interesting because it's, like, on the side, and then you can hit the power button. You can also double tap the screen, and it will turn on. The last and final phone that's actually usable is the Galaxy J7. So this is the 2018 model of the J7. It works perfectly fine. Everything works. There's not a single issue with this phone. The only issue with this phone is when you open up like Google, on the white backgrounds, there's this weird discoloring all over the screen, which I believe is probably water damage considering what I've seen in different videos. So somebody's got a picture of their dog on here. Then there's some stuff in the gallery. But here's the back of the phone. The battery actually lasts forever on this phone as well. Like, just drain a little bit. But the battery hardly drains at all on standby, so that phone has a great battery as well. Could have been replaced, I don't know. But it's great for a 7-year-old phone. So this phone is really good. I actually had fun. The thing is, the night when I got it, I had to literally update this thing like 6 or 7 times. Like, software update. It was literally never even updated, which is crazy. So I had to update from like Android 8 base to like One UI 1.1 and Android 9. So, interesting phone, but this works perfectly fine. Good phone. So, yeah, and that's it for these usable phones right here. And the last and final category is these phones right here. These do not work at all. I'll start with this one. So this is an iPhone 5, I believe. You can see right here. This is the iPhone 5. So it's pretty scratched up. The screen is really bad condition too. This phone does not power on at all. It just literally does not work at all. I had it plugged in for hours. It was still freezing cold and stuff. It wasn't even warming up or anything. The phone has not showed a single sign of life. No vibration, no Apple logo, no low battery sign, absolutely nothing. This phone is just completely dead and broken. This reminds me of my grandmother's phone, because recently she was charging it. It was like at 100% or something. It was really hot, and then it just like shut off and didn't turn on again. The battery was just completely dead from full. So I think this is what's happening with this. Also, the seller told me that one or two of the phones has a bad battery. That's probably what it is. The battery is probably just completely dead and does not turn on at all. Just does not work. And it basically is a similar situation with this iPhone 6s right here. So, nice looking phone, except for the fact that it does not power on at all. Now, I tried actually connecting this one to a Mac, and it actually showed, like it recognized the phone, but I had it plugged in for hours too. It actually warmed up a bit, so it was like charging internally, but phone never powers on. This iPhone 5 wasn't even like recognized by the Mac. I plugged this one in too, just didn't recognize. So both of these phones are completely dead and do not turn on. The batteries are basically just completely dead. And the last and final one is probably the most mysterious one I've ever gotten my hands on. I cannot even begin to fathom how strange this phone is. So, first of all, it's an Alcatel Idol 4. That's the phone model of the model of this phone. Sold by Cricket, the carrier Cricket. This phone does not work at all. I've tried plugging it in. I've had it plugged in for hours, and all it does is there's this little light up here, and it illuminates this little white light at the top, and it doesn't actually turn on. Earlier today, I was actually able to get it to show Alcatel powered by Android on the screen, and then it got to the Cricket screen, but it just shut off with the white light again. It never actually turned on. So this phone doesn't work. Also, it does not even show any sign of life if it's not plugged in. So the fact that it doesn't even work if it's not plugged in, that's a big problem. So the battery is just like completely broken or something. It just like keeps showing it's charging, and it's like trying to charge with this white light, and it never actually does anything, no matter how long I've left it plugged in. Also, the next thing I'm a bit serious about this phone, there's this little button on the side right there. I don't know if you guys can see. It's really small, but it's this round button with a warning triangle on it with an exclamation point, which is really weird because I have no idea what this does and why that is there. The charging port's also on the side, which I believe is probably something that has happened with older phones before. Power buttons here, and I believe these are the volume buttons. This phone is completely mysterious. It doesn't work. It's all scratched and beat up on both the front and the back. Yeah, so this phone just doesn't turn on at all. It's a complete mystery phone. These phones don't work either. So, in conclusion, out of these 15 phones, 3 of 15 do not work at all. 4 out of 15 are usable and work. And basically, the rest, 8 out of 15 power on and work, but they are all locked. Either iCloud locked or Google account locked, FRP locked, and they are completely useless. So, essentially, the actual usable phones I was able to get out of this lot was 4 out of 15, which is not that many, considering there's, like, all these phones, and most of these are not even, like, usable because of the locks, and so these 3 just don't work at all. And also, this lot of phones was listed for parts, so this was not really, like, supposed to be, like, a fully working phone lot anyway. So it's just a bunch of random phones in various conditions. So, in conclusion, most of them are just completely useless. Like, 12 out of 15 either don't work or they're just completely useless. So, in conclusion, that is what it is with these phones. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming up, and I will see you guys in the next one.